Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. First journey is picking out what deck we're going to use. I do this before every reading. This is actually the deck that I've been thinking about, but that doesn't mean that it wants to be bothered. So we do get consent before every reading because I want to be sure that the deck that we use wants to actually provide a message, right? So I'm just going to shuffle the deck until one card comes out. We're only going to take one. So, and it's either a yes or no card. And if it's a no card, we just move on to the next deck. So that's why I have all these decks out here. So while we're doing that, just a quick little setting expectations. What was that? Seven of Cups reversed. We're going to take that as a no. I'm not psychic. I'm certainly not claiming to be, but I do know these cards, and my intention is to give you the message as it's coming through to me in as many ways as it is coming through to me. And also, I like to, Page of Swords, the Star, okay, I think we will. We will use, I think this is the Guardians deck. I haven't even actually used this deck for YouTube readings before, so that's fun. Okay. So, what was I saying? I like to explain the cards to you because no doubt you are receiving your own message, your own confirmation, because obviously you're the one that's living your life. So if there is not a message that I'm saying out loud, but there is something that is coming through to you that is very much a message, but also at the same time, don't try to fit a square peg into a round hole to fit a narrative. Obviously use your discernment. Not everything in the reading may resonate for you. It is a general reading, blah, blah, blah. What else though? I feel like I'm missing something. I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, I'm just glad that we are both here. But of course, it does help me grow, and I love that. I do feel like I'm missing something, but whatever. If I think of it, if it comes to me, then I'll just message you in in the reading. So, yeah, let's get to it. Great. So, this is the reading for Leo, wherever Leo is in your chart. Alrighty, we got the 10 of Wands. Is Mars still in Leo? I can't remember, and I don't have my laptop sitting right next to me. It probably is. I mean, I think Mars is in a sign for, is it 2 months? Anyway, I don't know. Just came to my head because I was like, what's going on in Leo? Interesting. We have the Knight of Pentacles kind of sideways. Interesting that every time that card has come out, it's been sideways. Four of Pentacles, kind of sideways. Temperance at the bottom of the deck. What else? Knight of Cups, the Fool. Let me move there. That's better. With the glare, this feels like a lot of either waiting, but waiting in terms of things not moving maybe as quickly as you want them to. Almost like feeling apathetic. I literally feel like I could put my head down and take a nap right now. Like it just feels like kind of being low on energy, which is interesting because, Leo being a fire sign, of course it being ruled by the sun, right? Could you imagine if the sun was low on energy? Like, bro, that would be no bueno. That would be no bueno for all of us. So I do halfway wonder too, like if there's, an impact going on to the environment around you. I keep looking at this 10 of Wands. Traditionally, the 10 of Wands talks about a burden, feeling overwhelmed, maybe feeling burnt out. It's carrying a lot of shit out of obligation because maybe you think you can. You probably can, right? I mean, obviously. Wands are fire. And, it's about the actions that we take, creativity, passion, desire, right? Like, how are you communicating those things? What actions are you taking towards those things? I also see Wands as being information by way of experience. It's literal, like, life experience. Truly, you cannot know the impact of a thing, if you like a thing, if the thing fits, if you don't try it, which is where that action piece comes in. Right? And all of the things that you try, it becomes experience. It becomes maybe even a lesson. And that's kind of how I see the 10 of Wands is like carrying all that experience. It's also skill. It's also wisdom. But it's carrying all of it. And like I said, right, it does, or it can turn into feeling like a burden. Also, though, 10s are a completion. So, I love that we're starting out with a completion, and that completion has to do with a burden. It could even be like delegating things. It could just be offloading stuff. Like, what is the stuff that feels like it's weighing you down the most? What are the things that are making you potentially feel burnt out? Can you offload some of those things? I'm going to read out of the book though, because I've really been enjoying the author's like interpretation of these cards. So it says, this guardian experiences a true sense of being completely immersed into the situation with no separation from the experience in sight. This card may indicate that you are imprisoned in your responsibilities by the need to survive. This is currently a sense of lack of self. Matters have become too much to be constantly involved with at all times. You want to pull away. However, the moment you do, all the cards will fall. Best to start considering a plan to help you disengage from this situation. Yeah. Right? That's the whole, like, where can you, as much as you can and as much as it is accessible to you, right? Like, where can you offload? Start with the thing that is feeling the heaviest, or, I was going to say has the highest, like, sense of responsibility. And it's interesting because when would the advice ever be to, what is the thing that you are most responsible for? Can you be less responsible for it? Usually it's kind of like, start at the bottom, start at the minuscule, like, things, right? The stuff that would be easy to let go of. But literally, like, for whatever reason, I'm like, we're starting at the top. Even just changing the energy that you put into it, lowering the volume of that or something. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, again, the advice is not to just like blow up your whole life and like forget all of your responsibilities. But that would definitely be a shakeup. And if you haven't done that at least once in your life, really, you probably should. But again, that's not advice. And, so we have the Knight of Pentacles next to it, which, again, right, like, this is the slowest moving knight in the whole tarot. We have the Four of Pentacles, which is like holding on too tight also. So, like I said at the beginning, there's like a lot of waiting, or just there's not a ton of movement going on here, which, even having Temperance at the bottom of the deck, it feels like there's definitely purpose to this. And truly, I mean, maybe the purpose is, what was it saying? I've already forgotten. Best to start considering a plan to help you disengage from the situation. Right? Like, Temperance then would be saying it's time to start trying different things, trying different formulas, trying, just again, the way that you approach things, the way that you show up for things, the amount of energy that you put into it, the amount of energy that you get out of it. Because Temperance is about alchemy. It is blending together energy. And again, like, it's also a card of patience. And like, it takes time to figure out the appropriate or the right formula for you. Because clearly with this Ten of Wands, like, something isn't working. And it's more than likely because it is out of alignment with the way that you would approach the situation, or that you would handle it, or that it fits into your life also. And again, as much as it is accessible to you, the energy is available for you to start making little tweaks. This is also a really good time for you to even figure out what works for you. What do you even want, right? Like, what responsibility do you want to have? Anyway, I know we like totally skipped over these two cards here, but like I said, the Knight of Pentacles, which I believe is Virgo, which is, the sign after yours. So I wonder, even just that coming up, like, I wonder if you're going to see some sort of change or some sort of resolution to this in or during Virgo season. But Pentacles have to do with our money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time and our energy, right? Just as valuable as money. I mean, it's literally the thing that we trade for money, right? So how are you investing your time? Where are you investing your energy? It's your physical body and your health. Literally, I mean, anything tangible, anything that you place worth and value on. That's all things Pentacles. The Knight requires commitment, dedication. Anytime the Knight of Pentacles comes out, I feel like it's always this reminder that the pace of a thing, the fast or slowness of it does not dictate the success of it, right? Like, if things aren't going as fast as you want them to, if they're not growing as fast as you want them to, if you're not getting the recognition that you feel like you deserve in the time that you feel you deserve it in, right? It's like not using that as a gauge for success. Because the Knight of Pentacles, again, it requires consistency. It requires dedication, commitment, which is actually kind of interesting because the Ten of Wands says, matters have become too much to be constantly involved with at all times. Let's see what this Knight of Pentacles says. This guardian embraces her fears, passion, and emotions. Each moment has left their marks upon her, most of which have healed Only the deeper life-changing ones have remained visible. She is a guardian that one simply does not challenge. She has seen the darker side of the human experience and carries that quiet rage behind her mask of icy contemplation. Our past assists to define who we are now. As this guardian presents herself in a reading, it signifies for you to recognize your feelings and embrace them. They are part of you. Try to hide from the experiences of the past and pretend they did not happen will only encourage the past to repeat itself. By bringing them to a collective whole, the awareness of old patterns reoccurring can be brought to a decisive end. Hell yeah. I kind of love that because in the Ten of Wands, they are immersed in it. In the Knight of Pentacles, there is a recognition, and it feels like this is the disengagement that the Ten of Pentacles or the Ten of Wands is talking about. It's like if you find yourself in a cycle that you recognize, like you have approached things in your life in the same way, with the same thought, with the same intention, then don't. Don't. That's the thing that's keeping you tied to the past. Try to hide from the experiences of the past and pretend they did not happen will only encourage the past to repeat itself. Yeah. And let's read the reverse one too, because it's kind of sideways. In reverse key, this indicates that you are leading your decisions based upon emotions tied to past events that have nothing to do with your current situation. So yeah, right? Like, again, if you find yourself thinking to yourself, this worked in the past. This is how I always got myself into or out of a situation, whatever the situation is, whatever it is. That would definitely be like it could be a trauma response. I mean, it could be a fight or flight response to survival, right? But you're just going to find yourself, like once the dust settles, you're just going to find yourself in the same situation that you are trying to get yourself out of, like right now. So almost really just this is a thing, like for me, and I don't know if it's right. It's just the only thing that I have figured out. Like, if you don't know what to do, don't do anything yet. Again, if it's accessible, if you are safe, if you are, all the things. Because the answer will present itself eventually. And especially too, if you have the intention to go about things differently. You'll have a conversation, you'll see a video, something will catch your eye or your ear, really, and it'll be the answer that you're looking for. It'll be the something different, the different approach. The Four of Pentacles says this guardian is observing a family making their way to their house of evening worship, bringing their faith together to unify them with a common core belief. The guardian supports those who adhere to their innate inner truth, live by their words, and demonstrate through their actions. As this card is drawn, live by your truth, your grounding belief. Abide by the words that you have taken to represent your own. Revel and cherish in being unified with others who share your sentiments. When this card appears in the reverse, be sure to refrain from belittling others who follow a different belief system. It can be hard when one does not understand the nuances, but be careful to not turn your back on others purely based on their beliefs. We were kind of like talking about that somewhere over here about this being an opportunity for you to explore what is true for you. Even, I think I was maybe talking about that in reference with the Temperance card. I don't remember. But if that's the thing that hasn't been working, right? Because like if you have been approaching things or getting into or out of situations, and it could just have been like something you were taught, something that you saw because of your family dynamic, because of social or cultural, something. But it's kind of like one of those things, that's what you know without maybe even knowing it, right? So you just follow that same blueprint. But again, like the energy is available here for you to explore what is true for you. Like, what would be the next true step for you? And again, if you don't know, don't take any steps and keep checking in along the way. Am I doing this based on my own truth? Is this true for me, right? Temperance says, with a devilish smirk, this guardian presents you with a divining dish. Seeing the triple moon or trinity, she is aware of each stage of life and the influence which play upon us even before we understand ourselves. She knows the lessons and she knows the follies. How we approach and utilize the upcoming events will improve ourselves for the better are very much our wait. How we approach and utilize the upcoming events to improve ourselves for the better are very much our own doing. Okay. When this card appears, it shows that we have some life lessons coming our way. Prepare and be aware of these lessons and visualize who you want to be in the end. Make your choices accordingly. Absolutely. Really, like you are in control of your own life. And maybe for the longest time, like you have felt like you weren't in control. Or just not even being, because I do feel like it does take a sense of awareness to even recognize that you're the one that's actually driving that bus. But for the longest time, and just because of conditioning and again, societal, cultural, whatever, but there's clearly a point here where you're like, this isn't true for me. And really what it's causing is like, it's just causing you to stay in the same cycle. And you can break the cycle if you want to. It seems like you do. The energy is available for you to do it. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.